Thank you very much for joining us for another Tarot Combination Tuesday. So, we were looking at the Two of Swords, I believe, and that's what we're going to have a look at, how to read pairs and that kind of combination where the Two of Swords comes up in a reading and you're not quite sure what to say. Let's have a look at the Fool with the Two of Swords. You know, maybe you've been thinking about a new leap of faith, as it were, within the job front or the career front, and you just can't quite make a decision. So there's a lot of indecision in this case around that person regarding new things. And if they're asking about work, it's really saying, well, have you thought this through? Yeah, you know, something new at work. Are you sure this is for you? Are you sure this is what you want? You know, sometimes people say, yeah. But in actual fact, nobody likes change. Nobody likes change. We all fear change. So, fusing pairs together, instead of just going, oh, I think you're indecisive about work, there's actually something very specific coming from the Major Arcana card there. And the Fool is about new things. It's about something unique. So this person has not made their mind up yet. They are not clear. They are not sure. They are not certain about anything here. So when it comes to the Fool, we know that that's something new. Let's say it was this one. Now you've got the Hermit, and let's say same question and Two of Swords comes out and you're not using a pair. You're going to say, oh, you're a bit uncertain about the future, aren't you? You're not making any clear decisions and you're not making your mind up about anything. Actually, let's look at that. The Hermit. What's the difference between the Hermit and the Fool? The Hermit compared to the Fool with the Two of Swords. Well, the Fool's about no history, brand new things, something is different, something you've never done before. The Hermit is about experience. So the Hermit in this case, well, most cases actually, is the past. So if this came up, number one, the Hermit links to the 6th house astrologically, and the 6th house is work. So let's not forget that one. But the most important point I want to make here is this is somebody that doesn't know what to do with their experience and what they've done in the past. They're not sure if they still want to do it. They're not sure they still want to do it at work. Okay? And how do we know it's about this person? Because we said we're looking at this person in the position of themselves. And they're asking. So there's many different positions in my spread. There is the position of the physical self, the emotional self, the intellectual self, which is all about our thoughts and our communication with ourselves and, of course, with others. And then there is the spiritual self. And then we've got, if you do the advanced spread, we've got all of the 12 houses of the astrological signs in there that will tell you everything within those houses and those certain subjects. It's based on a Celtic cross. It's an extended Celtic cross, but the advanced one would take you into the astrological houses as well as the bare bones of the Celtic cross. Okay, so that's for those of you that want to actually know a little bit more about this method, because it is exciting and it takes the guessing out of it. So I'm saying that this has come up with the question. The person's asking about themselves, they're asking about work, and they're saying, what's coming up for me at work? And it's like, right, you're indecisive, you don't know what to do, you haven't decided yet. This is still a thought process, but what it's based on is A, work, because we've got the Hermit, and I said the 6th house, but also this is to do with the experiences that you have had in the past, and you don't know whether you want to stay or you want to actually go back there. You're not sure. This comes up, what do we have? A crossroads. This person is weighing up what they need to do next. They're standing still and they're going, gosh, I've got choices. But those choices are based upon the past. And the past is, it's the reevaluation again. Why do I say the past? Because Judgment card is always about what we are going to do in the future, and it's about the decades to come. However, we can only figure out where we're going if we actually look at what we've done in the past and how we are in a position to be able to look at our choices, what's going on, what do we want to do, what did we do well, what did we not do well, and forewarned, forearmed, to forgive ourselves. We did the best we could, and now it's time to actually wake up, smell the coffee, and decide that what you're doing now is going to have a very big impact on the future. All right? Judgment card is one of those where if you're indecisive, you need to actually figure it out, because if this is coming up, it's talking about if you're not sure now, whatever you choose, this will affect you in the long term. The Judgment card is about the only card that will tell you what's happening and how things are going to be based on your choices now for the big picture ahead, the long term. If we have the card Two of Swords coming up, what's happening to me at work? I'm a little undecided. Yeah, you are, aren't you? You can't make a decision, and you're not ready yet. You're working out the pros and cons. Maybe you can't see the big picture ahead. The Magician is saying, well, look, your communication skills are all there, and your thought process is there, and so is your emotions, and of course so are the actions and productivity. So really, you're a product ready to go. Where do we get that from? The Magician. And it's coming up in the self, but it's also with this pair saying this person is not clear. They don't know whether or not, they really have that willpower, whether they have that product ready to go, if you like, within themselves. And really and truly, they do, but they don't know that. And if they're not the one that's actually not certain, there's a right time and a wrong time, isn't there? There's always a wrong time. Always, always, always. But if you are not feeling it, or mentally in this case, as it is with the Two of Swords, if you don't believe it and you are not aware of how things actually are, then yeah, you're not ready. But it's saying it's there, and that person just needs to get to a point where they feel that they know that. Okay, so at the moment, this is all going on in the mind. It's all conversations that they're having with themselves, not someone else. How do we know that? It's in the position of the self. If it was in a position of others, yeah. Or if we had a court card here, maybe that's the person they're talking to, good old King of Swords, or Page of Wands, or Queen of Cups, one of those. Yeah, you see? So the major card is going to tell you what's going on. The question that the current is asking, big important thing, it's look at your suit. Your suit will tell you. So mentally, they have not prepared for this, even though they really have it all. So it's no good going, oh gosh, you're great, you're great, you're great. If they are not clear in their mind that that's how it is, there is no way that they need to actually determine that they set off on that path until they figured it out. And they are looking at everything, and they are feeling, that they are not ready just yet to make that actual decision one way or another. Ah, how would you read this? What would it mean if we got the High Priestess and the Two of Swords? And the person says, I want to know about work, and I want to know what's happening. And it's quite simply, you would say, right, Something's going to be revealed to you. Something is going to be revealed to you. And you're not yet decided. And so you don't know yet. And something's coming. You're going to make a decision. But based on these cards, we don't know. So sometimes in a reading, I think people find the High Priestess, a card, and they go, oh, you're very intuitive, you're very psychic. Yes, yes. But it can also mean that our person is actually, they haven't got the answers yet. And it will come to them in their mental process. How do we know that? Because we've got the Two of Swords there. And so it's a thought process. So they'll get the idea, I suppose, is what we've got. But once they get an idea, they're going to be indecisive about that idea. So they don't yet know where they're going and what they're doing. If this was coming from other people, and it was the same question, and someone said, what's happening for me at work? And this comes up, and this is the influences of people around. You would actually say, well, they haven't decided what to do with you yet. They will let you know, but they're a bit undecided. Oh, but what they're going to do, we don't know. You know, Swords is not a card of doing. It's about thinking. It's about the mental state. It's about communication, of course. And so here, they're not communicating with that person. So if this came up in the place of others, they're not communicating. How do we know they're not communicating? Definitely not. Because you've got the High Priestess. They are not revealing to you in communication. If it's in yourself, you're not revealing to yourself in communication. I.e., it's a secret. Someone could say, well, what if it's like, you know, use your intuition? Of course, that could be what this is. You know, what's your intuition telling you? Well, we can see in the second card, the Two of Swords, they don't know. So, yeah, I know it's frustrating that we can't go, oh, forget that, it's this instead, and this is how you need to look at it. It doesn't work like that, does it? It really does not work like that. So, you know, sometimes you just have to be exactly as the cards are saying. We don't yet know. This is a future yet to be revealed to you. It will come to you mentally, it'll come in your thoughts, or it'll come from the outside external communication that you have yet to find. You have not got the answers right now. So different to the magician. The magician's saying your product ready to go. You've got all the tools on the table ready to go, but you are just a little undecided for whatever reason. Empress and Two of Swords, same question. What's happening to me at work? How's it going to go for me? Well, this is about being creative, and this is also about knowing that, you know, you're well liked. You're an attractive member of the team. Attractive member, maybe physically, because it's in the physical position, but also the attraction that's there. Venus, you see, the Empress is linked to Venus. So people like it, makes them feel good. They feel nurtured, they feel wonderful. How does that help somebody when we get this pair? It's a bit like, well, you know what? You may be creative, and you may not want to go that way. Maybe you know that you're well liked and that creativity is there, but maybe you're actually weighing up the pros and cons of things and actually thinking, well, maybe I want to do something that is creative, but is also going to help with communication. And how do we know that? Because we've got the Swords, or where I'm using my brain more, or where I am able to learn more and navigate more about that. So this is a person that wants to grow. Where do we get the growth from? The Empress. Okay, if it was coming up in the position of others, we would be getting the fact that, yeah, they look at you and they find you a very good communicator. There's a lot of growth there, but they're a little undecided at this point what to do with you. I'm afraid, you know, that's really what this card really means. You know, take off the blindfold, that person's not ready to. Take off the blindfold, I would say, with the magician. Yeah? But why? Because it's all there. But you know what? If we push people before they're ready, or they push themselves, it can turn out that, you know, it's not the right time and not the best decision. You know, timing sometimes is essential. You know that. So what's happening for me at work? Well, it's showing here that you're probably not being very logical right now. And something is requiring logic. And that logic really invites you to actually work out what to do. And write a list, you know, mentally of the pros and the cons of the situation. But something's making you feel that logic is missing, therefore you're not feeling fully in control of the facts. The facts. How do we know it's that? Swords, communication. So you're not in control of all the facts. You don't have, you know, there's no logic here. So it's a bit like saying, oh, I want to turn around and grow at work. And it's like, well, have you done any courses? Have you done anything about it now? So the logic's not there. You're not putting things into a system. You're not actually, you know, it's not going to knock on your door. It could, but it's unusual for that to happen. You know, waiting for that, it could be waiting for a very long time. It's not impossible, but it's saying that you are undecided about what to do next, and you are not thinking logically. And that may require that you look at the fact that you do need to retrain, you do need to talk to people, you do need to actually put yourself on courses, you do need to be in a different network or a different job set. You see? So I'm keeping with this because, as I've mentioned before, on the courses that I teach, when you actually go to the advanced, I use 22 major arcana cards in the spread and 22 minor arcana cards. As you can see on the actual screen, I'm using pairs for each position. It's based on a Celtic cross. It goes much more extended than a Celtic cross, and then we get the astrological sort of houses that breaks everything down for you that you would need to know. There are things and boundaries that I would say do not go there, and that is, you're not pulling rabbits out of hats. You are not there to be tested. You are not contacting spirit with these cards. You are simply being able to actually use a system that will express to you, when you ask about family, look here. When you ask about others, go there. When you're asking about yourself, there are several places you can go. But if you are asking about myself and my finance, you go here. If I'm asking about finance from others, you go somewhere entirely different. And if you're looking at career, different position. If you're looking at your achievements, you know, your worldly achievements, am I going to pass that exam? Am I going to get that job? Am I going to actually complete my studies? You know, different positions in the spread will answer that. And do you know that when you actually get to a certain point, I can teach you how to look at certain countries. So, for example, I could say that person's definitely looking at the States. This is the Middle East. This is Australia. This is Europe. Yeah. This is UAE. All of that. Or, you know what? This person's local, and there are 2 or 3 different positions, places, combinations of what to look for. So that you could say, quite often people say, is this going to be a long distance relationship? Well, of course, you could get the Temperance card or the Page of Wands, which are both dealing with long distance, but how about the position? And what about the combinations of pairs that would tell you where it is locally? No, it's on the main line of where you live in the country you're in, or, this is definitely Australia. America, you know, these kind of places, or North America. And it's not, oh, my psychic selves told me that. There's a system. And your psychic self, together, that will complement beautifully this system. So that's what it's all about, okay? So, another one. Okay. This one. This is one that people often say, I don't know what to say when I see the Hierophant. Yeah, I can understand that because, you know what, it's a bit of a religious scene and we're thinking popes, religion, all that kind of thing. But it really stands for the powers that be. So think of it like popes and kings and queens. And what you get from that, you get red tape, authority, rules, regulations. The church says I can't do this. The government says I can't do that. The council says I can't do that. When it comes to matters of work, this is probably HR. HR, contracts, those kind of things. In the contract, I cannot. In the contract, I can. This kind of thing. So here, giving you a clue already, we've got the Hierophant. And we've got the fact that this person is asking about work and they are really, really struggling with an indecision when it comes to the powers that be and the authority. And maybe they are actually saying, well, you know what, I want to climb the ladder of success, but in actual fact, do I actually want to go up a level? Am I going to have a good time, or am I going to enjoy being in power or authority, or in a position of being able to make decisions? You know, it's a responsibility, isn't it? The more power you've got, the more responsible you are for many or lots of things. This is perhaps what's on their mind. And it's like, I really want it, but do I really want all that responsibility? So they're making a decision. The Hierophant is showing that, you know, actually all the red tape, it looks very good. It's just the mental process of how this person actually feels and what's going on with them. So this might be, you know what, I'm a little undecided as to whether I want to actually give up the pleasure I've got of my friendships or the people that I work with. You know, I enjoy, you know, the community. And if I'm up there, cracking the whip, making the decisions, I'm going to have to remove myself from that. So, you know, whenever we gain something, we probably lose something, don't we? And so this person is not yet ready to face that decision. Okay? If they are asking about work and they say, you know, what do you think? I went for an interview and we found this in the position of others or in the position of work, either. It's outside of what they're asking about themselves. They're asking about, how's it looking? There's no decision here. That person, you know, HR have not decided whether to give you a contract yet. Okay, and if that's in the position of others, that's exactly what it is. It's exactly the same if it came up in the 6th house, which is the place of work. Let's have a look at the PDF. It'll give me a moment. Okay, this PDF that you can actually get off my website, it's a worksheet, not a cheat sheet. What is a cheat sheet? I know people use them. I've had many a person applying for a job on my psychic platforms before I went tarot with AnneMarie on my own. And you know what? There was a script, and it's almost as if everybody had bought that script. Not like this. It would be, you're going to live a long and happy life, and Spirit's telling me this, and yes, I do see you've got great health and great wealth, and everything's wonderful, really. What do you want to know? And it's like, hold on a minute, don't know what you're looking at, but nope. Do you want to start again? Shall we try that again? I'm giving you another chance. Read your cards and tell me. And they couldn't. So, of course, they never made it through the interview, and they never came to read for me and my team on the platform. So there's a big difference. This is what a PDF worksheet looks like. So if somebody's actually sort of saying, you know what, what's going on for me at work? You know, is everything all right? How am I going to get on? And it looks here as if this is a really nice combination. It's like, you know what, you are fun and you are really, really good at what you're doing. And people really find, you know, you're entertaining, you're courageous, you're strong at what you do, you're calm, you're peaceful, you know, and there's more there in you. Very playful to be around, enjoyable. All that's coming from the Strength card. But this person is probably a little insecure about that. They don't actually think that. I knew you were going to ask for that one. And that is what I was looking for a minute ago. And it's like, yes, 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 we can. Excellent choice. It's always going to be one that people like. Can you see that this is, you're strong, you're courageous, you know, very entertaining, you know, you've got what it takes. But if you don't think it, other people will start thinking, all right, maybe you're right. Maybe, you know, it isn't so much fun being around you. So therefore, won't give it. So you've got to have more confidence if you see this. Not because of a Strength card, but more to do with the indecision of the Two of Swords. Okay? The Devil card by special request. When I was training in tarot, probably told you this before, sorry if I have, but I'm just going to say again. There used to be somebody in my class, and every week she would say, I don't get that Devil card. She didn't say it in that voice. It was a London accent, and it was really, really sort of manipulating the teacher into, you are going to do that card for me again every week until I actually stop. And the teacher really was fabulous, but she didn't ever really take control. So what I'm going to say is, interesting that, isn't it? Because the Devil card is saying, right, okay, you know what, here's a power and you're asking about work and you are feeling puppeteered by other people and you don't know what to do. And at work, you're actually going, oh, maybe better the devil I know. Sometimes it's so obvious, isn't it, yeah? But this is a question about work and what's happening. And we've got an indecision here. So we know that this person does not know what to do yet. They will, but they don't yet. And so, really, they're going, oh, better the devil I know. But they are in a place of emotional bondage to the people that they are working for or on behalf of. And in a way, you know, they're being manipulated. How is the manipulation? Do you know that? What is the manipulation? Number one, I'm going to say it's in a physical position. So there you go. It could be physically. We have to look at the fact that it's in the physical. And if it came up in the emotional, you'd go, right, this has come up in the emotional place. So maybe this is having an impact on your emotions. But again, how do we know that they're being manipulated in what area? Mind games. They are being manipulated with mind games. And how do we know that? The suit. It's all about the mind. So somebody is pulling their strings, they're puppeteering them, and they're making them feel there's an emotional bondage coming from the devil. That's where the emotional bondage is. The mental rattling of manipulation is in the suit of swords. So you see, when you combine something, you can work out if somebody is mentally controlling you or having an impact on, your career, your success, making you doubt yourself, making you feel, oh gosh, I'm not very good at making decisions, am I? Probably not. Maybe you can't make a decision for toffee, but seriously, this is about feeling an emotional bondage to the people that are perhaps playing with you. They're not making it easy. And yeah, there's mind games there. If it was the suit of cups, it would be there is an emotional bondage coming from the devil card, and if it was the suit of cups, it would be they are emotionally manipulating you. If it was the suit of wands, it would be they are manipulating you physically in their actions. So this could be a bit like, forgive me for saying, harassment. Maybe a touch that you feel is inappropriate at work and just not on. I work with you, don't touch me, or you poked me or pushed me, or, something physical in their action. Or they could be keeping you very, very late and abusing in the act of work, because don't forget, ones is linked to action. So it might be you're spending too many hours there and they're not paying you for it, or they're just laughing at you and saying, you've got a choice, if you don't like it, you know what to do. But this person's definitely feeling manipulated, and so much so, when somebody is doing that to us, and we've all had it happen at some point, maybe even as children, from our playmates, from our families, whatever, but someone can manage to press the buttons. And if it was the suit of pentacles, okay, then we would actually really have the fact that somebody is holding back the finances and not paying us what we are, the current value of what we're doing for them. So, yeah, sometimes it's like, I watched something on television last night, I was trying to decompress before off to sleep, and it was a travel program on BBC iPlayer, and they were showing that they had a hotel out there in one of the UAE borderline countries. It wasn't Dubai or the Emirates, it was just outside of it. And I am not going to pronounce it because, one, I can't remember what it was, but it began with Q. And it was very close to the UAE. And they had this hotel, and it was phenomenal for, the guests. And it was phenomenal for the staff. And they said that they wanted to keep these people because this, it's an old program, but you could watch it. Amazing Hotels, I think it was, and this one was in the desert. And in this hotel, they had made it as beautiful for the staff as they had for the guests, because they said they hoped that they would stay with them on their journey of work until they're retired. They had tennis courts, they had swimming pools. They were all really beautiful. It was like 4-star rather than 5-star. And they only had, 1 day off a week, because those countries do work 6 days a week, so they weren't being abused in any way. If they had a family, hey ho, they had different living accommodation for the family. Now, my point is, for telling you that, quite often, if we're being puppeteered, say in the Pentacle family, which is to do with finance, and we say we got a 5, which is really, we're struggling. Let's say you've got the Pentacles. it would mean that you're being financially abused in some way. All right, so if you like, you could look at this as being puppeteered, being abused, being controlled, playing mind games with you. Oh, you're daft, you don't know what you're doing, this kind of thing. But in this hotel, my whole point of telling you that is there can be such industries or such countries that will definitely take advantage of people that come from somewhere else, poorer countries, and underpay them and give them appalling living conditions. This was quite the opposite. It was very transparent. You could see how happy they were. You could see how long they stayed. Complete opposite. I don't want to be on a downer. The devil is always, it's manipulation. It's about being puppeteered. It's feeling enslaved to that person. And it's about feeling that, I better stay because it could be even worse. Could be even worse. I could get an even worse job. Oh my gosh, it must be me. Maybe they're right. That's what's going on here. So this person's not growing because they're being controlled. All right. Now, I knew you were going to ask that. I just knew it because I knew that you would probably go, what's she going to say about that? Yeah. And don't forget, if it's physical, look at inappropriate behavior physically, not just sexually, maybe romantically, or it could actually be that that person is actually maybe excluding you deliberately. That's not nice either, is it? So, as we work through the 5 Sin Tarot, make sure that you watch those episodes when I'm doing 5s of swords or cups or wands or pentacles. You will learn so much. And also, do remember that how we say it is important. You have a responsibility to actually give the reading by all means, but also you have a responsibility not to dress it up in a flowery situation, which people say, oh, I bet that's what you do. No, but to give it in a way that you don't embellish anything that is, oh gosh, this is an awful card, it's awful for you, isn't it? You don't say that. You say, okay, this is challenging, probably a bit rough for you right now, but you know what? Everything changes, and let's have a look and see how you're going to get on and how long it might take to navigate this. It's the way you say it, all right? And if you're not sure, just turn around and go, how do you feel? You can ask. They might say, in which case you can say, okay, right, I'm going to have a look at it for you and I'm going to do the best I can. And, I'm sure the cards are supporting you so that you'll know how long you've got to do this for. Okay, instead of going, oh, it'll be all right, or look how awful your cards are. No. Okay, not everything's rosy, is it? Not everything's easy. Right, what about this one? Okay, now, a star card, what's that about? Don't forget the star card is linked to Aquarius. Aquarius, what do we know about Aquarius? Think about it. Are you an Aquarian? What do you know about the house of Aquarius? What do you know about Aquarians in astrology? Well, usually houses, it's to do with their principles, their ideals, their community, and their ideology. As people, they tend to do things because they should be done, rather than for the ego, rather than for the glory. They are more like, like politics. A bit like, the children's playground has a hole and the children keep sort of stumbling down that pothole and it needs to be fixed. So let's get it fixed. That's an Aquarian sort of way, rather than, I'll do it. I'll be the one that does it. Me. Look at me. It's me. Did you see I got that fixed? That's the ego. That's the, aren't I wonderful? They're not like that at all. They do it because it needs doing, no other reason. So, think of politics and people say, oh, I don't know anything about politics. neither do I. But what I do know is it's everything. It's everything in our world. You know, the fact that you walk down the street and there's a pothole or something's dangerous, who do you go to? You go to your community and find out who's responsible and how we're going to get that changed. That's, yeah. So why have I told you that? The star card. Two of Swords. What's happening to me at work? Your community. They think you're somebody that actually does things. You get things done. You do it with the right attitude. You're well liked. Don't forget the star card is illuminating and healing. So there's a warmth here. What are they warming to? Oh, do they fancy me? No. They like the way you talk. They like your communication. They like your conversations. It's enlightening. It can heal them. And how am I going to get on? Well, as a result of actually being really well liked and probably healing situations at work, you've got to turn around and kind of say, right, I'm a bit indecisive about what to do. So you know what? I'm going to go to my community and I'm going to ask for a little bit of suggestion and some feedback so that so this is approaching your community to find out what to do. Maybe your friendship circles, the star card, again, Aquarius, are friendships. So ask your friends, ask your community, ask the people you're working with, what do you think I'm good at? Or whatever it is that's on your mind that's actually making you feel perplexed and unsure of what you need to do. So thank you for your time, and always my pleasure. Do ask any questions, of course, anything that you need to know. If I don't know, I'll try and find out for you, or someone on here may actually know the answer to your burning questions about tarot. But I have done this for a long time, and I've worked with not clients alone, but with readers and students, all tarot based, and it's been my journey along the way. So you can find out about my courses on tarotwithanneMarie.com. And that's where you can find the courses for anything that you want on your journey of tarot. We've broken it all down for you, and it's all available for you to watch on my website as video, and you know, you can keep it and go back to it when you want, work at your own pace, do it however you want to. But it's all keyed around taking you to a professional level, not just the tidbits. The tidbits are just the workbooks that I've given you, keeping it light and basic so that you've got a few keywords. We all like extras, don't we? So there you go. That's everything and anything. I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.